Hello, I'm Kim, Rooster Rossiter, and on this week before Thanksgiving, this is Spotlight Saturday, episode 45. All right, everybody, happy Thanksgiving to you. And let's go ahead and kick this thing off. We're going to spotlight two questions today. We're going to visit a few locations. We'll get down to Tennessee, got a really awesome visit down there, North Carolina. But first, let's go up to upstate New York and have Shaun Evans, our Senior Vice President for Education, answer a key question that came to us recently. Shaun?
Hi everybody, this is Shaun Evans coming to you from upstate New York, and as the temperatures start to drop across the U.S. this fall, the question was posed this week, does Ainsley's Angels offer any restrictions or recommendations based on cold temperatures of when teams should or should not roll in an event? And I guess as we wake up to 20-degree temperatures every morning and heavy frost on the ground here in upstate New York, the best advice that I can give is that if it's going to be safe for the rider and there aren't going to be any adverse effects of things like hypothermia, or temperature-induced seizures, or significant or severe muscle cramping, or things of that nature, then go for it, but just be prepared. Make sure that you have lots of extra blankets on hand, and extra socks, and hats, and mittens, and coats. And things like hand warmers can go a long way tucked into some mittens, or socks, or boots, or hats, or whatever, to keep the rider comfortable. If the rider's going to be able to be comfortable and have a good time, that's what it's all about. Go out and roll. But if it's not going to be safe, then use common sense. If there's going to be lots of snow on the ground and it's not going to be safe for riders or runners, then don't do it. We're out there to have a good time. That's what it's all about. The other important advice that I have is make sure that riders and runners are staying hydrated. It's easy to stay hydrated when the weather's hot and warm. It's easy to want to drink water. But as the temperatures get colder, we have to remind ourselves that it's important to continue to stay hydrated so that runners can too avoid things like muscle cramping. But with that being said, Ainsley's Angels of upstate New York here at the Albany Adirondack region has a turkey trot coming up on Thanksgiving. We're hoping that the weather cooperates and we'll go out and roll and have a great time. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a great fall.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you answering that one for us. So very fitting to have you, the guy who has probably ran in just about every environment in the nation, especially back when you ran across the country with Seamus and the family. So, hey, brother, good to see you, and thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you and the family as well. All right, y'all, let's scoot down to North Carolina, where our Mid-Atlantic Regional Ambassador, Michelle, is going to answer another question.
That's a really good question. When thinking about what would be the most ideal distance for the first race of an Angel rider, I would definitely recommend the 5K, as that's the distance that is the most common among our ambassadorships. The 5K is a race of 3.1 miles and would typically take an Angel team anywhere from 25 to 35 minutes to complete, depending on their pace, of course. But the 5K truly is a great distance for the very first experience. With that being said, I wouldn't discourage a rider from taking on a longer distance for that first race, but would want people to keep in mind the length of time it might take a team to complete when considering if that longer distance would be the best choice. You could keep in mind that a 10K, which is 6.2 miles, might take an Angel team anywhere from an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to complete. A half marathon, which is 13.1 miles, could take an Angel team anywhere from an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, all the way to 3 hours, just depending on their pace. And the marathon, which is 26.2 miles, that one I would potentially not recommend to be the very first race of an Angel rider, because it could take an Angel team anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. So I'm not sure if that would be the best one. But again, I really would look at that 5K as that ideal distance. You also asked, is there a recommended age? And with that being said, again, we're not about putting limits on anyone in our Ainsley's Angels family, but we do want to consider age when it comes to our really young riders. Again, think about that rider's activity level, think about their comfort level when deciding which of those distances would be ideal. We do recommend that the minimum age of an Angel rider is 12 months. Again, that's what the American Pediatric Association recommends. So we would not probably look to put a rider that is less than a year old into a race at this point in time, but they absolutely could participate with the Angels team in other ways. So I hope that answered your question, and thanks a lot. Keep them coming.
Thanks so much, Michelle. Appreciate you taking the time to answer that question. Of course, at the end of the day, it's all about making sure that the rider is comfortable and the rider is safe. So between your answer and Shaun's answer, I think we got it wrapped up pretty good for a good understanding for how we need to approach every race, especially the first and those races in unique climates. All right, cool. So, hey, it's been a good episode so far. We spotlighted 2 good questions. I want to go down to Ambassador Kevin down in Nashville now, where he's with a pretty special group of people. Kevin, let's go.
So we are here in Nashville. We just finished the Boots for Troops 5K race. It was a blast. It was to honor fallen soldiers. And I'm here with Christy. She has helped me get this whole thing started in Nashville. She's been to each and every race. She brings her daughter Natalie. And so what is it that keeps you coming back?
The family environment from Ainsley's Angels. Now all the racers, new riders and runners and so forth are all one big family that get together once a month for Ainsley's Angels.
It is fun.
It is.
So can you tell us a little bit about Natalie's disability?
Yeah, so she has a guided 2B deficiency. When she was diagnosed, she was one of 3 in the world with that diagnosis. And since then, I think as of today, there's maybe 43 or 44 plus that have diagnosed with this, and it's a protein deficiency in the brain, and it's an expressive protein, so it affects speech, mobility, intellect, and seizures, of course.
Well, thank you for bringing her out. Franklin, can you come over here for a second?
Oh, and the other great thing about it is Franklin, our son, her brother's a runner, and so he pushes her every month.
Franklin is actually a football player on one of the best football teams in the state, and I would just like to point out that Natalie has beat Franklin on every single race so far, and I just want to know how you feel about that, Franklin.
Oh my God, I teach her everything I know. So
There you go.
that's how that works.
Well, thank you for coming out. It's been a blast. Thank you, Angels.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kevin. I love that. Absolutely love that. Thank you all, and thank you for what you're doing down in Nashville. We're absolutely excited about the prospects for 2017 and the work that you're doing over with East Tennessee with Angie, and just some of the great things that I'm hearing are coming in the next couple months. Hey, speaking of great things, we got a couple of announcements as we close this out. You may have wondered, what is this thing around my neck? Well, this is the final Ainsley's Angels Race Series event medal for 2016. And Briley's going to zoom in and show you how special this thing is. We're going to celebrate Ainsley's birthday, and we're going to do that virtually. Now, we only have about 300 of these medals, so don't delay. I can tell you that almost 150 of them have already been registered for. We opened registration earlier this week. The link is in the description, and it's just truly special. As you can see, it's our first spinner medal, and just the symbolism of what it offers, showing Ainsley in her wheelchair all the way up to actually running her own race. So we hope you can join us virtually, and of course virtual races mean you sign up and you run, walk, crawl, roll, whatever works, the 13 miles for the 13 years over the course of the first 13 days or so of December, or whenever you want to do it. Doesn't need to be in one session, can spread out over time. At the end of the day, we just want you to join us in celebrating Ainsley's wonderful life and birthday, December 10th. All right, look, that's pretty much a wrap for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. As we go out, I invite you to absolutely embrace those around you, to celebrate this Thanksgiving week with the utmost joy and optimism. And don't forget to take a time to just tell those that you love why you're so grateful for them. Have a great week, y'all, and we'll see you in 46.
A young angel born with wings.